is to approve the minutes of last criminal justice meeting. Motion by Supervisor Breimer, second by Supervisor Simpson, to approve the minutes of last meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, move right into DA.
Okay, here we go. There's two items on the agenda today. The first one, as you may recall, there was a request to reclassify a position. It was the crime victim specialist and to a senior, but before that was going to go through, we wanted to have an evaluation of what grade. So we had civil service and personnel do an evaluation, and they came up with a grade 17.
Okay.
So you'll see on the agenda the budget amount, that increase is $4,848. That particular position is 100% funded by that particular grant, and there is money, as I understand it, in the budget, and that grant budget to cover that change, if that change were to take place.
Okay, motion by Supervisor Breimer, second by Supervisor Sieber. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Carried. Next.
Thank you. The next one is, as you're aware, there were a number of unfilled positions in the department because of some departures. As of the beginning of October, we've got about $23,000 in the salary codes for those positions, and we're seeking to move those. One of the big chunks, when the 2017 budget was done for the burn grant, it showed income. That income requires an equal expenditure, and that was not demonstrated in that particular budget. So we've been spending out of lines. We talked to Rob Lynch, and he said, go ahead and spend it because it will be reimbursed, but it will, so we've had to pull out of other lines to cover that $10,000. There's nothing to show us going back into our budget for that expense. So we broke it out in the top. You'll see the office equipment and legal transcript. What we've done to accomplish the sort of exercising of that grant is move money into office equipment, spent it on the item. To get the grant, you have to spend it on the item, and then they reimburse. The way the grant was written last year didn't show, or the way the budget was written, it didn't show that. So the $10,000 is just coming out. The other portions, you'll see they're broken down into certain items. It looks like there's going to be some shortfalls. We've changed a little bit how we're handling the budget going forward. That came up in some discussions here. So we'd like to use that money and spread it across those lines so that we don't have any shortfalls, don't need to go to contingency. You'll look, for example, travel and education. That's what we anticipate. We've gotten a couple of extradition requests lately, and so we're concerned we're going to have a shortfall. That we're looking to put $2,500 in there. We currently have $525 through the end of the year. By doing this, not only will we not go to contingency, we won't be doing as I think is done in the past, going into any other of our three budgets.
Okay. Can we have a motion to get this on the floor by Supervisor Simpson? Do we have a second by Supervisor Brock? Any further discussion? Frank, are you okay with this?
Yep.
Frank is okay with this? Supervisor Sieber?
Thank you. I just want to confirm, and I believe I have with our budget officer already, but that the budget lines that you were transferring some of this from, those have been decreased, so now we don't see a duplication. There's a savings in the other line, and some of it's put over into this line.
So I don't know if that's occurred, if the actual actions occurred. We've asked that for the 2018 budget that those go away, and so that we can just separate those two out, in the way the 2017 was represented. So he may be able to tell me whether they may still exist, but we won't be pulling from them. So if they do, we're not going to be taking that money.
Yeah, you got to talk to Rob. For 2018.
Well,
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else, Jason?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
Missed you chairing meetings.
Oh, yes. Next. Welcome.
Thank you, Mr.
Do
Chairman.
we have to approve these minutes, too? No, we did. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Brian.
This is very simple action items. The first resolution is a correction in the budget that affects it by $1, but we still have to do it, so...
Okay.
That's
Motion to amend the budget. Motion by Supervisor Breimer. Do we have a second by Supervisor Simpson to amend the budget by $1, reflection of grant funds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried.
The second item is part of that, which allows us to transfer the dollars.
Oh, okay. Okay, that motion by Supervisor Brammer, second by Supervisor Simpson. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right.
Under
Next.
pending items, we have the discussion on the EMS system, and as the administrator announced at the board meeting last week, we do have a meeting on October 31st,
Correct.
where at 10 o'clock, where we will be meeting with leaders from some other counties, and the Sheriff's Department in Albany County will be doing a PowerPoint, as I understand it. Is that correct?
Right, and just to bring everybody up to speed, if you could please tell Amanda if you plan on attending. For some reason, the Senator's office would like to know what officials from Warren County will be there. So please let Amanda know. It's all set up. I know Essex, I think Clinton County is going to be here, Warren County. It'll be the same presentation that we saw at the Sheriff's Office by the captain of the Albany County Sheriff's Office. I believe Sheriff Apple is coming, Bud. And it's a good PowerPoint. They're going to put it on. They'll explain to you how it works in Albany County, and it's for information only. I know this is starting to get some buzz going about shared services. So, yeah, I think it'll be a good presentation. So, anything else, Brian?
That's all I have. I would like to mention that the I am responding scenario that we started is moving along quite well. We are scheduled for training for the EMS folks, anybody that's interested at their advisory board meeting. So far, up to date, right now we have 623 responders signed up for it in the system. So I think that's really good. And we sent out an email today advising those that are not currently signed up, if they want to continue to get the text messages, which is what the Sheriff's Office does now through their system, they do need to get signed up. So it only signs them up for that. They're not signing on for any of the other features, just their agency has to sign them up if they want to continue to get the text messages.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I have.
Thank you, that's great.
Thank you. Next, Sheriff Flamery. You thought I was going to say Lamore. No, I can't really.
All right, action agenda under item A is request a resolution to amend the budget to reflect revenues to be received from New York State Department of Homeland Security Emergency Services, the 2016 statewide interoperable communications grant in the amount of $523,375.
Motion to get the resolution on the floor. Motion by Supervisor Brammer, second by Supervisor Simpson. Discussion. Yes.
Is this some of the money that we were just talking about? That the
Yes, it
state
is.
is like doling out because they've...
It's monies that we applied for and competed
Yeah.
with other jurisdictions to get.
Got a genuflect when we take it.
Right, yes.
That was clear. Any?
They feel bad for us?
We haven't even got the letter in the mail yet. Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, number 2.
B, request a resolution to amend the budget to reflect revenues to be received from the New York State Department of Homeland Security Emergency Services, the 2017 State Law Enforcement Terrorism Prevention Program in the amount of $19,994.
Motion to get this on the floor. Motion by Supervisor Brock, second by Supervisor Simpson. Get it on the floor. What would this money be used for?
This money is paying to replace the tactical body armor for the emergency
Oh, body
response
armor
team.
one. Okay. Any other discussion? Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. C.
Request resolution to amend the budget to reflect revenue from Six Flags Great Escape for law enforcement services in the amount of $45,499.85.
Motion by Supervisor Brock, second by Supervisor Sieber. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Resolution for a new contract with Tyler Technologies for CAD NCIC interface.
That's what we're asking for. We have grant money that's going to pay for that.
Okay. We have a motion by Supervisor Brock, second by Supervisor Sieber. Any discussion? Yes, Supervisor Brock.
Thank you, Chairman. Can you just give us a quick, like, what this is and...
Okay, so years ago we used to have a device in the communication center. It was a teletype machine, and everything came in on teletype. It was paper. It spit paper out. Fortunately, we got rid of teletypes. Now we have what's called e-justice. And this is where we input people who have warrants. This is where we run people to see if there's any active files on them. It's where we run registrations, driver's licenses, things such as that. This provides a link between that system and the current dispatching software that we have. So if I, out on the road, call in a plate, and ask our communication center to run the plate, it automatically dumps that information into the CAD. So it eliminates the duplication of entering of information. It's something that we looked at doing last year when we did a CAD upgrade. We just weren't able to get the project completed last year.
Any other discussion?
Just a one-time thing, once they install the software, then it's
Yeah.
done? I mean, until we need the next
I mean,
upgrade or
there's
whatever.
this portion of it, and there's the part that you don't see. We had to pay for a message switch, which is fancy words for a computer server, that was around $10,000 that we had to ship out to Tyler so they could actually program it out there.
I see, okay.
Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Next, E.
Request resolution for a new contract with Tyler Technologies for software interface for the PowerPhone Total Response Protocol System. As you recall, we brought the PowerPhone through before. This is nothing more than an interface, so it goes right into our, communicates with our CAD program.
Motion by Supervisor Brock. Do we have a second? Supervisor Seaver. Any further discussions? Any questions for Sean? All those in favor?
Request resolution for new contract with Tyler Technologies for software maintenance for the CAD and the law enforcement records management system. The contract that we had, I believe it was a 5-year contract, and we're coming to the end of that term. They no longer do multi-year contracts. They only do a 1-year contract. So it automatically would renew year to year if we choose to do so.
Okay, do we have a motion by Supervisor Brock? Do we have a second? Supervisor Simpson. Any further discussion? Yes, Supervisor Brock.
Is there a fee, monthly or yearly fee, or?
Oh, yes, there is a fee.
much is
It's
it?
right there in the attachment. It's $57,000 a year. And that
Brown.
amount, when I spoke with Tyler, that amount automatically goes up 3% a year.
I see, thanks. I see that 3%, did it go up annually? Have you looked at other companies? Yeah. I see the sheriff shaking his head.
We've looked at other vendors.
Yeah.
Black Creek is hands down the best product that's out there. It is all the software that runs our correctional facility. It's used, I believe, if not by all correctional facilities around New York, but most of correctional facilities.
And what about cost?
So, well, we've already paid for the software, so we're only paying for the maintenance. If you were to
And
go
we
out,
can't get anybody else to do the maintenance?
sole source.
They own the solar.
It's totally proprietary. You can't have another vendor come in and work on it. It's the same with Tyler Technologies. You can't hire somebody else to come in and maintain their software.
I thought we were on the Tyler Technologies one.
We had 3 for Tyler Technologies.
Yeah.
Right. We are on the Tyler Technology. It's just a different aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Okay, now the Black Creek.
Okay, request resolution for a new contract with Black Creek Integrated Systems for the maintenance of the correctional facility software. As I said before, it's the software that runs our correctional facility, and this is just to maintain it. They offered us 3 options, a 1-year, a 3-year, and a 5-year, and we opted for a 3.
Motion by Supervisor Brock. Do we have a second? Second by Supervisor, are you waving your finger, or are you Supervisor Simpson, or are you, no?
Oh, no, I'm looking at
Oh, Supervisor Siebert, second.
screen here.
Any discussion? I guess my question would be, Sean, if this is the premier software, Black Creek, do they sell the other software for the Sheriff's Department, or are we so far into Tyler that we couldn't switch?
I'll give you the brief history of Tyler. It used to be called New World.
Oh.
And we've had New World over 20 years.
Okay.
In 2012, when they consolidated dispatch for the Glens Falls Police Department,
Yeah?
we went to a different company. We went to Impact Software. It was the worst mistake we've ever made.
I remember you talking
And
about
we
that.
struggled all year long. And the important thing to remember is that your CAD software has to be bulletproof. Lack of a better term, it really needs to be bulletproof. You cannot be taking a 911 call, next thing you know, your screen goes black, or the computer locks up, and you're not able to get assets and resources where you want. That is what we struggled with. And at the tail end of 2012, after many, many phone calls and meetings with Impact, we went back to Tyler, New World at the time, and they've since been bought out and called Tyler.
Okay.
And we went back to them. We've had them for over 20 years. They're one of the best products out there. Unfortunately, they're not the cheapest.
Okay.
Sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yeah, let me add, and when he's talking about 2012,
I remember that.
that my administrators came to me and said, we want to switch because didn't like the report writing on the law enforcement side. It wasn't user friendly, and I said, okay, well, you do the research. So we did it, we went with Impact. Huge mistake. What we were not looking at was the 911 side. We can, the law enforcement side, you can deal with some of the things you have to do extra. But the 911 side, where they had to act immediately, they couldn't afford to be down, with black screens or anything. And although Impact was very helpful, they come up every time we called them, it was a big issue. So the one thing that we learned from our dispatchers was, they said, we want to go back to New World because it's bulletproof, we have no problems with them. We felt we could deal with it on the law enforcement side, so we went back with them. And we're going to stay with them because of their 911 system.
And then this one handles all the corrections.
The Black Creek software handles the correctional facility.
So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Transfer of funds? Yeah.
Under topics for discussion, we currently have 1 vacancy for correction officer, 2 vacancies for correction sergeant. We've hired 1 correction officer since September. And I just skipped over to transfer of funds, so let's get that covered. We're looking to move law enforcement regular salaries, $50,000 into law enforcement overtime, and we're looking to move $30,000 out of law enforcement salaries regular into part-time salaries law enforcement.
Motion to do the budget transfer by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Brock. Any discussions? Yes, Supervisor? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any, anything else? Yes, Supervisor Conover.
So we've done pretty well filling those vacancies at corrections.
We have, and I just spoke with the captain and the lieutenants last week because those positions started getting filled back in September. And I was looking at the overtime numbers, and I'm not seeing a big change in the overtime numbers yet. He reminded me that they're not counted as part of the minimum staffing for the first 2 months. So once we get past that 2 months, we should start seeing those numbers come down.
Right now, did you say 2 or 3 vacancies?
We have 1 vacancy for correction officer, 2 vacancies for sergeant, and we're waiting the issuance of the sergeant's exam.
Very good.
And the only other thing I had on there, just to bring the committee up to date, as of the 20th of October, we've expended $534,463 in overtime in the correctional facility.
I noticed on the last report, we're still not seeing revenues for the correctional facility. We're lagging way behind. Is there just no more federal?
Yeah, well,
Yes, sure.
that has been the whole problem.
Yes.
The federal inmates, and I've been dealing directly with the U.S. Marshal from the Northern District, who said, we're going to get you some more inmates. So we finally just, a week, maybe 10 days ago, we got 11 federal inmates, so that's certainly going to help with the revenue.
And we don't see transfers from the other county facilities anymore? We're not getting...
I believe I think they were from St. Lawrence. We had somewhere around 8 or 10 inmates we were housing for them.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen like it used to.
not happening.
What happened is many other counties built correctional facilities to
Right.
accommodate their populations.
I got one item I just want to bring to the committee. I know Claudia and Rachel will be interested in this especially. As you well know, the Kennard family and McHugh family bought a Draeger unit for the sheriff's office to use. And what that Draeger unit does is detect for any illegal drugs in somebody's system who happens to be operating a boat and or a vehicle. Just a few weeks ago, we had a young female going over 100 miles an hour with a 3-month-old and a 7-year-old in the car. One of our officers happened to follow it and stop it. Well, this person obviously was a drug user of sorts, but we actually used the Draeger on this individual, and it showed showed that she had cocaine in her bloodstream, so it was very effective. It worked very well. I called the Kennard family and let them know that it just worked with the police that were using it.
That's good. Mr. Claudia?
That's great, thanks. I've been meaning to follow up with you too about going forward with the TIPS training and getting that revised. So I will touch base with you.
Okay, who's the local one, Holly Hahn?
Holly Hahn handles that, Sheriff.
Yep, we're glad to help you. Call me or Sean and we'll help you.
Awesome, thank you.
The only other thing I'll offer is a sobering presentation about the opiate use. I mean, really, it's...
The girl, Ashley, I think you were all impressed with her.
Right.
She is a very impressive young lady. She speaks very well. She's going through it every day. She fights it every day. But she
Wow.
is such an advocate, and she's such an asset to that forum, and she's great to have.
Okay. Anything else to come from front of the committee? Motion to adjourn by Supervisor Simpson, second by Supervisor Seaver. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, and I'll check.